Have you ever wanted to take portraits using off-camera flash, but thought it was too complicated or just too expensive? By the end of this video, you'll be able to add studio portraits to your portfolio simply and affordably. This is Larry with Southern Exposure, information and inspiration for the amateur photographer. Natural light photography is a beautiful thing. The light at golden hour is very flattering, but using it puts you at the mercy of the calendar, the clock, and the weather. It's nice to be able to shoot anytime, regardless of the conditions, and sometimes you just want that clean studio portrait look. Besides, if you can find a willing model, it can make for a great way to pass a rainy afternoon inside. The biggest thing holding many amateurs back from shooting with off-camera flash is that it seems very complicated and even expensive. Let's get the cost issue out of the way first. Here's all you need to get started with a simple one-light setup. A speed light. I use the Neewer 750 Mark II. You can get an equivalent model on Amazon for around $65. I have two of these now, but started with just one, and you can too. Next, a trigger. This is just a radio controller that tells your flash to fire when you press the shutter button on the camera. I use this little Altura unit. I bought it as a single, but right now it looks like you can only get it in a 2-pack on Amazon, and that's only $35. These also come with a cable, so when you're not using it as a flash trigger, it can also serve as a wireless trigger for your camera, which is great for long exposure shots or self-portraits. A light stand. I got two basic light stands for about $25. Shoot-through umbrella, around $20. This will help diffuse and soften your flash, and it's cheaper and easier to use than a softbox. An umbrella swivel stand with cold shoe. These are around $15. The swivel stand lets you attach your flash and umbrella to your light stand and adjust the direction of your light. Finally, a reflector. You can use a piece of foam core board, about 20 by 30 inches, and that's only $3. You use the reflector to bounce some light back onto your subject from the opposite side of your flash to fill in and soften the shadows. So let's total this up. Speed light, $65. Trigger, $35. Light stands, $25. Umbrella, $20. Swivel stand for the umbrella, $15. And a $3 reflector for a grand total of $163. That's not bad, and considering the results you can get from just this simple setup, this goes to the top of the list for most bang for your buck when it comes to photography gear. Add another speed light and umbrella and a large piece of gray cloth from Hobby Lobby, and you'll have everything you need to create professional-looking portraits in your home for just over $200 total. So how do we use all this stuff? Since this video is just about the mechanics of getting the flash off the camera, I'm just going to use a simple prop on a table as a subject. But all of this applies exactly the same way when taking portraits of a model. First, let's talk camera settings. I'll be shooting with the Nikon D3400. It's a nice basic entry-level camera and the 18-55 kit lens. You need to be in manual mode, but don't worry. Once you get everything set, you won't really be making many adjustments. Set your white balance to flash. Use your lowest ISO setting, for me that's ISO 100. Set your shutter speed to the maximum sync speed of your camera. Usually that's around 1/200th of a second, but you can find this in your camera's documentation. Set a mid-range aperture of 5.6 to f8. We want to make sure that the only light being registered by your sensor is from the flash. Letting ambient light leak into the exposure will throw off the white balance and make your colors and skin tones look a little funky. So take a photo of your subject without the flash and make sure it produces an all-black image. Next, attach your flash swivel to a light stand and slide in the umbrella. Attach the receiver of your flash trigger to the bottom of your speed light and then to the swivel stand. Put the transmitter in the hot shoe of your camera. Turn everything on, make sure your flash is in manual mode, and press the shutter button to make sure the flash fires. Now, you want to position your flash about 45 degrees to the side and 45 degrees above your model's face. Get it as close as you can without it being in the frame. This is a great starting point for positioning your flash, but feel free to experiment once you get the basics down. Next, you want to dial in your flash power. You should have your flash set in manual mode. This allows you to adjust the output power, usually in 1/3 of a stop increments. The power will range from 1/1 or full power down to 1/128th power. Let's pick a setting and take a test shot. I'll start at 1/4 power. Look at your image and the histogram to decide if your exposure needs adjustment. Once you have it dialed in, as long as the distance between your light and your model stays the same, you won't have to adjust any settings. You can create really nice portraits like this, but some people find it a little too dramatic with the darker shadows and higher contrast. No problem. That's where our reflector comes in. You can prop it on a chair, ask someone to hold it for you, or just clamp it to something. Position it on the opposite side of your model from the flash and use it to direct some soft light back into the shadows to even things out a bit. You might need to take some test shots to get the results you're looking for. So, with just a few minutes of setup, a very simple dip into manual mode, and about $150, you're ready to start taking portraits with off-camera flash. I was a little intimidated when I first thought about doing this, but I found out pretty quick this ain't rocket surgery. Professional-looking results are within the reach of amateurs like you and me. Once you get comfortable with the basics, you can extend your creativity with additional lights, gels, and modifiers. To see an example of what you can do, check out this video now. So grab a friend and a speed light and go take pictures and have fun doing it. Thanks.